Hi, it's Andrea Foulkes. It's the 29th of September 2013 and I'm just going to make a little video about self-love. I think we're all going through this process now of truly learning what it is to really love ourselves. And I'm seeing so many clients and other people in so many emotionally compromising situations in relationships, whether they're in a relationship or whether they're single. You've got two polarities going on. You've got the people who are single sort of despairing, why am I single? I shouldn't be single. I'm a great person. I'm this, I'm that, but don't forget, we're birthing a new consciousness on planet Earth, and although we project it to be on planet Earth, the portal to which the new consciousness is coming, ding, through you, the physical body. And so a lot of relationships are being looked at. I think, going forward in 20 years time, maybe, relationships are going to look very different. Well, they are. I mean, they're redefining themselves all the time, and relationships are not going to look the same as they are. And I see a lot of people who are in relationship, whether they have children or they don't have children, are really struggling to really reclaim their power within the relationship, because maybe how they got in the relationship years ago has passed its sell-by date. They don't really need that kind of relationship anymore because their soul has evolved, and sometimes the partner hasn't evolved as much as they've evolved. And you are always the catalyst, if you're in a relationship, for the partner to evolve. It's their free will whether they choose to or not, but you can't fundamentally hold back your own soul growth for someone else. I mean, people will do it. Gosh, 90% of the population is probably doing that. But it will take its toll on your physical body, your health and well-being, because it has to. Everything that you're not in a truth about will show somewhere in your life. And a lot of us who are a little bit older, like myself, although I feel very young, we're not in relationship because actually some people, I just spoke to a dear old friend just now, and she's a little confused as to why she's not in a relationship. But actually, I think a lot of people, whether they're male or female, are actually finding themselves not in a relationship for a very good reason just now. It's giving them chance to truly work on themselves. They have all this free time to work on themselves. They don't have to show up for anyone else. They can truly master what it means to truly love yourself. And when you truly love yourself, eventually through that process, and of course relationships are always the mirror to which you learn anyway, but I think a lot of people are on their knees going, I'm not doing this anymore. Especially women, okay, because I'm a woman, I'll speak from a woman's point of view. Especially women, they're like, I'm just saying no to this kind of relationship anymore. I'm saying no to subtle forms of manipulation or bullying. I just don't want that anymore. I want my soul freedom more than anything. I want to be free. I don't want to feel guilt in a relationship. I don't want to be, put down in a relationship. And so we're redefining that, and we're going inside ourselves and we're clearing what it is inside ourselves, whether it's from our past lives or an ancestral programming around what relationships are. What does a successful relationship look like? Well, it's probably not anymore two people living in a house together harmoniously with or without children, being together all the time, or it's kind of redefining what that is. Maybe a successful relationship means now that one of you honors that the other needs to go off and do some exploring of self for a month or two, and it doesn't have any reflection on the relationship between the two of you. It's just that person needs some time out to spend on loving themselves, and then they are in a better place to contribute to the relationship. But relationships aren't about finding somebody outside of you to complete you. Redefining relationships is coming as a complete whole entity in yourself to meet another person who is a complete whole entity in themselves, in balance, divine feminine, divine masculine. And if you're not in that balance yet in yourself, the relationships that you're going to meet outside of you are going to be challenging because they're triggering both of you to learn to love yourselves even more. And you don't seek completion by an external force outside of yourself. And there's so much talk about twin flames and soulmates, and these are vastly misunderstood in my experience, so misunderstood. And I've seen so many people, make videos, and I honor their truth. I do honor their truth. Is the fact that they make these videos and like, I found my twin flame, and a few weeks later the relationship's over, and and they were just a soulmate. They weren't their twin flame, they were a soulmate. There was someone they had to process karma with. They had to go through clearing the timelines together, and that's great, because so many of us, I went through that process. It was like all these people I'd known in other lifetimes, I'd been married to, I had relationships with, I'd had conflict with, I'd made statements in other lifetimes, they'd made statements in other lifetimes, and I you got to clear your energy field of all this. And then there are other dark underworld lifetimes that we, necessarily don't want to look at because they're too painful, they're too abusive. And that's abusive men and women in ceremonies in other lifetimes that were really hideous by today's standards, and they were abusive. And we have to clear our energy field of all of this, and we have to let go of this. I call it the Doris Day Belief, this desire to want to have your day, to be the beautiful bride in the wedding dress, and have all this attention upon yourself. I think a lot of women, are really looking for that, and it's almost the groom is irrelevant. It's like, give me my day, it's like Bridezilla. And I'm very fortunate because I was a model. I've modeled wedding dresses. I've kind of had my day as the bride. And, the other week on Facebook, I posted a picture of me in a beautiful wedding dress. Questioning yourself, why am I looking for a relationship? Why am I sobbing and wailing and saying, I should be married by now, I should have had my day? And, what is it you're seeking? If you're constantly getting into relationships and they're ending, or you're on the third or fourth marriage now, or kind of whatever, there's no such thing as judgment, but you've got to consider, what is it you were seeking in these relationships? That is fundamentally why that you're getting unhappy with them eventually. Are you learning from them? It's fine to go through these processes, but fundamentally there has to come a point in all these relationships where you go, okay, what is it that I'm not learning? Please show me what I'm not learning. I just don't want to go through this anymore, because, it's painful. I see so many people going through these painful experiences, and they're not learning, and they're projecting out onto the partner that it's the partner's fault. It's the partner. It's all blah, 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 blah. And it's not the partner. It's something in you you're not owning. You may be vibrationally attracting all these people who are dishonest, who are unkind, but it's you. They may well be those things, but it's you drawing them into your reality. And until you find that part of you, that belief and that thought in you that is drawing that in, these people will still vibrationally be drawn to you. So start with you. Don't blame them. Own it yourself. Okay, I am attracting these people. What is it in me that I fundamentally need to change in my energy field to attract something different? And a lot of us who are light workers, or, we do this two things that I used to do. I used to project them to be who they would be without their story. So I would make them into the fairy tale Prince Charming, which of course we have these fairy tales. And I was saying this to a client the other week, fundamentally in relationships, we have these two stories running, these Walt Disney stories, which are not great. We have Cinderella running, who sits there just waiting for Prince Charming to find her and put the shoe on her feet, and he's the king of the castle, and he rescues her and saves her, and she lives happily ever after. So we project onto a significant other that they be the prince or princess charming outside of ourselves. And of course, that they're not here to rescue you. They're not here to show up as their higher self. They're here to show up as who they truly are at this point in their journey. And then the other story we have, which I don't think is very good either, is that we have Beauty and the Beast. So to me, the interpretation of Beauty and the Beast isn't necessarily to do with what they physically look like, although, you know, we always project the beast as he's the beast and is this pretty little girl comes along, or the frog and she has to kiss the frog. You know, really what that story is about rescuing people. You know, whether the story actually is coming from a female perspective or a male perspective, you're still rescuing. You're like, someone who needs rescuing. I can go and rescue them. I can see the inner beauty. You know, I can see who they could be without their story. And those stories fundamentally floor relationships. That's why we are eternally disappointed in relationships. You know, we're like, it's not turning out how I want it to be, because you're looking for Prince Charming, or you're looking to be rescued. And from the male perspective, maybe they're waiting to be rescued. Maybe they're looking for this woman to be the beautiful girl who needs to be rescued. She's got no money, or, you know, she needs to be saved from her drudgery life that she lives with her wicked, evil stepsisters. You know, it's really, you know, not true. You know, it's really not true. And we want to be in partnership. All of us, male and female, we want to be in a partnership, but we don't want to lose ourselves in the partnership. We want to, you know, be trusted and honored in the partnership. We want to be, you know, in a partnership with someone, I think, who fundamentally, if we feel we need to go and have an experience for a month on our own without the partner, that they don't feel that the love between you is diminished in any way, or the relationship is diminished in any way, by you honoring them this space to go and do what they need to do for themselves. And I see so many people not doing what they need to do for themselves because they're terrified that this relationship will end because of it, because they're not fundamentally, one, being themselves, and two, doing what they need to do for themselves. So they start to die inwardly. You know, they're dying inwardly because they're not showing up for what they need. And I think the key also is to be honest in the beginning of a relationship, honest about who you are, not pretend to be who you would be without your story. And I think that's fundamentally the mistake people make on dating websites. They sit there going, what shall I say about myself? I'll put some picture of myself that isn't actually what I really look like. It's what I looked like 10 years ago. You know, that person is going to find out what you really look like, you know, you know, and what you write about yourself is like who you'd like to be, but actually you're not really that person and you don't really have that job. And it's a lie. Do you want to date somebody who is not loving who you truly are, you know? Because it won't last and it will cause a lot of pain and upset to both parties. So, you know, being authentic, being honest, this is who I am. This is what I really look like, you know? Be honest, but also, you know, inquire into the inner journey work in yourself and this love of self, really, truly loving yourself, so that when you meet another person, you don't need them to love you. I need you to love me so that I can validate my female aspect of myself or my male aspect of myself. It's like when you come into total balance in yourself of, I love the male and female aspects of myself, and I love myself, and I don't really need another person for my survival. I'm perfectly fine on my own. It would be fun, really fun, to have a significant person to have fun with and enjoy experiences in life and share things with, because I think I could grow a lot from that experience, and that would be a good thing, but not because you need something from them. I need a child. I need to reduce my bills. I need to find another person to love me. I need someone for all sex. I need someone for this. You know, whatever it is coming from lack in you. Come from a place of abundance in you. And then when you're coming from abundance in you and discernment in you, being really honest about what you're really looking for, then when you stop looking, if it's divine and meant to be, it will come into being. But honor and cherish this time of being alone, because it's giving you the chance to go inside yourself and do so much soul growth. You know, really, I'm loving my time with myself to do this real soul growth on myself, because self-love is really way deeper than we ever imagined it needs to be to evolve. And, you know, we've been stopped from that, from the timelines of existence. So, Yay for self-love and loving yourself. Yay. So much love. I have other videos below. Yeah, check those out. Okay, much love. Bye.